People think that if they cram food in one end and some poop comes out the other, that everything is going as planned, but that's not always the case. In order to completely benefit from the food that you're eating, you need to be able to totally break that food down and assimilate the nutrients in that food, and that's not always the case for everybody. The digestive process is a complicated function of the body, and digestive enzymes are a crucial part of that process. But it's also important to understand what digestive enzymes can and can't do, and we'll cover that in this video. Let's jump in.
TC Hale is not a doctor and does not claim to be a doctor or licensed in any type of medical field. Don't be an idiot and use anything heard on the show as medical advice. This information should be used for educational purposes only, and you should contact your doctor for any medical advice. Now get off me.
There are supplemental enzymes that can be used for different purposes. Like there's systemic enzymes that can be used for a wide variety of purposes, like clearing out arteries or taking care of a blood clot. But in this video, we're just going to talk about digestive enzymes. Now, in nature, foods contain enzymes that help you break that food down and pull all the nutrients out of that food. It's kind of like the food you're eating is helping you break that food down. The problem is when we heat or process our food, it kills those enzymes. So how much of your food do you eat that's raw or not processed? If you're like most people, it's not a huge percentage. So that can be a problem. Now, the good news is that our body has a stockpile of enzymes that can be used to help break these foods down. We also have enzymes that are meant for other purposes that the body can convert into digestive enzymes and help us break these cooked or processed foods down. The other problem is that if you use a food and convert it into a digestive enzyme, you're taking away an enzyme that was meant for another purpose. So another purpose may be problematic now, and it may not be completing that function because that enzyme was used for something else. Another problem is that as we age, we deplenish these stockpile of enzymes and we can run out, and now the body's kind of stealing things from other places just so that we can digest our food. For that reason, we kind of feel like anybody over 40 should be supplementing with digestive enzymes. The reason is if you can't digest your food fully and pull all the nutrients out of that food, not only can that lead to malnutrition issues and problems with specific nutrient deficiencies, but any food that isn't broken down properly, it now becomes a burden for the body. And now the body has to try to figure out what to do with this burden. Sometimes it's shoving some stuff into fat cells and causing weight gain, and sometimes it's depositing junk in other places, which can cause a wide variety of other problems. So we want to be able to break the food down correctly so that it doesn't cause problems with the body. There are also different types of enzymes that help us break down different types of foods. Amylase is an enzyme that helps us break down carbohydrates and turn those into sugar molecules so the body can use that glucose. Lipase is an enzyme that helps us break down fats, and this can be a big deal because the body needs a lot of dietary fats just to help the body function correctly. But even beyond that, if we can't break down these fats correctly, we can't assimilate a lot of fat-soluble vitamins, which can lead to a lot of vitamin deficiencies and a wide variety of health issues. If someone has lost their gallbladder, so they don't have proper bile flow to help them emulsify their fats correctly, then supplementing with an additional lipase supplement could help them improve their ability to digest those fats correctly. Now, if that is you, if you've lost your gallbladder, there's other steps you'll want to take, and you can learn how to do those in our free 4-week digestion course. We have a section just for people who've lost their gallbladder with some steps they can take to improve some issues. So if that's you, you can find that link in the description below. Protease helps us break down proteins and turn those proteins into amino acids, and that's basically the building block of the whole body. The body can't use chicken to rebuild muscle tissue. It has to break it down into amino acids, and those building blocks can be used to rebuild organs, tissues, and all the things that make up your entire body. So it's a kind of a big deal. Other enzymes like lactase are used for specific types of foods, like dairy. Lactase helps us break down dairy products. We like to see people use a broad spectrum enzyme that includes all these enzymes and maybe even some others. But if someone is like lactose intolerant, For some people, that can be an issue of not having enough of that lactase enzyme. So they may want to supplement with an additional lactase enzyme to help them correct that intolerance. Now, some people are dealing with food sensitivities to dairy, so sometimes increasing that enzyme isn't enough. Sometimes they have to correct a food sensitivity issue. But for about half the people who are feeling like they're lactose intolerant, just by increasing a lactase enzyme, that can be enough to correct the problem. Now, a lot of these broad spectrum enzymes will include lactase, but for these people with lactose intolerance, it's often not enough. They often need to add an additional lactase supplement that's just lactase. And it's really easy to find those, and we'll put a link down below in the description to one you can find on Amazon easily. It's also important to understand how crucial digestive enzymes are, but that doesn't mean that supplementing with digestive enzymes is going to be enough to fix a major digestive issue. I see people all the time promoting using digestive enzymes to fix things like bloating or constipation or other digestive symptoms. And the reality is that that's only going to help if a person is right on the fence and they just need a little bit of help or a little bit of a boost. But for most folks who are dealing with these digestive symptoms, they're going to need to fix some underlying causes, and then the digestive enzymes can just be a little bit of a boost. The reason for this is that the enzymes are only a small portion of the digestive process. We need to be able to create enough stomach acid, or HCl, in the stomach to acidify our food so we can start that breaking down process. And a lot of people are not making enough stomach acid for a wide variety of reasons. And once that food is properly acidified in the stomach and it leaves the stomach and goes into the duodenum, which is the first 10 inches of the small intestine, then we need to be able to squirt bile, which is very alkaline, from our gallbladder down onto that acidic product to neutralize those acids. And when this alkaline bile meets the acidic product leaving the stomach, it creates a sizzle. And this sizzle is what helps us bust that food apart and really be able to pull all those nutrients out of that food. And a lot of people have their bile too thick and sticky to flow correctly, so that bile isn't flowing correctly. So maybe they're missing the stomach acid, maybe they don't have proper bile flow, or maybe it's both. But in a lot of cases, they don't have the ability to help that food get that sizzle and really bust apart so that it can be actually assimilated correctly. Now, once the food is busted apart from that sizzle, then the enzymes are really needed to help break those particles down even smaller so that the body can use those. But if the food isn't getting busted apart, the enzymes aren't really going to be able to help that process a whole lot. So if you're dealing with any digestive symptoms at all, be sure to watch our Digestive Troubles Explained video so you can understand the underlying cause of those problems, along with steps that you can take to correct them. We also don't like to see people take an unlimited amount of digestive enzymes, like a lot of enzyme manufacturers will say is a good idea to do, because a lot of these enzymes are made to break down protein, and a lot of our tissues are made of protein. So if a person's dealing with a specific imbalance that can cause excessive tissue breakdown, then taking a lot of these digestive enzymes can just magnify that imbalance and make the problem a whole lot worse. Now, we teach people in that 4-week digestion course that's free how to figure out if they're dealing with that imbalance or not. So you can check that out if that's a concern for you. But for most people, just taking 1 or 2 digestive enzyme capsules per meal is plenty, and that's really all you need. Now, there's a lot of really bad products out there that are available in the supplement world for consumers, but it's a little bit harder to screw up enzymes. Most enzymes are going to be okay as long as they don't include ingredients that can disrupt the digestive process. I'm really shocked and annoyed a lot when I see manufacturers putting ingredients into a digestive enzyme that can actually turn off the digestive process. Why are you going to do that? That's not optimal. So as long as they don't have any of those types of ingredients, most digestive enzymes are going to be okay. The ones we use I like to call magic enzymes because they have a little ninja trick that can be an extra benefit if you use those. But these are called Digestive from Empirical Labs. Now, we're not the manufacturers of these enzymes, and this isn't a paid promotion video or anything like that. These are just the ones we found work really well, and this is what we use with our clients. But the reason we use these is because Digestive is a gentle, broad spectrum enzyme that includes a lot of those enzymes that we talked about, but it also includes zinc and some other cofactors that the body needs to be able to make its own stomach acid properly, HCl. Now, if somebody's dealing with low stomach acid levels, the amount of HCl in this particular enzyme is not going to be enough to really fix that problem. They may need to also take other steps to improve the stomach acid function in their body. And we teach you how to do that in the free 4-week digestion course in the description below. But with these cofactors in the Digestive, it can reduce how long you need to take those steps and help the body recover its own process of making its own HCl. So that's a really high benefit, and that's why we like to use these enzymes. We'll put a link to where you can find those enzymes in the description below as well. But you can see that digestive enzymes can be a really easy, simple, no-hassle way to give your digestion a boost, but also keep your body from stealing enzymes that are meant for other purposes and turning those into digestive enzymes. So that can be a huge benefit as well. Now, if you are dealing with any of those digestive symptoms that we talked about in this video, just go ahead and click right now and watch that Digestive Troubles Explained video so you can understand the causes and the steps you can take to improve those. I can't wait to hear about your results.